Alright, welcome back to another video. So today we're talking about OFM versus AI OFM. And the reason why I want to make a video about this is because obviously a lot of people, have been looking into AI more recently. I feel like, especially when it comes to beginners, a lot of people have obviously, I feel like AI OFM is more trending than OFM at the moment. As for like, if you scroll on TikTok, scroll on IG Reels, you'll see more people talking about AI models than like actual models, like actual OFM. So I feel like a lot of people, when they hear the term OFM, they instantly kind of assume that it's AI, not real models. So I kind of want to break down my opinions on it, what I think is better, and yeah. So first of all, obviously both have the ups and downs, but both can also make you 5 to 6 figures per month. I do both. My private group teaches you both as well. I have been doing OFM a lot longer. I only started AI OFM a few months ago. Obviously, I'm making a decent amount of money already from it, but OFM I've been doing more. And I personally do prefer and recommend OFM more. But from a beginner's point of view, at this moment of time, AI OFM could be seen as a lot more easy, or at least to kind of practice. Now, this is why. So, AI OFM, you don't have to spend any time outreaching, slash, trying to find a real model. This is one of the big things that people hate about OFM. As a beginner, you have to spend a lot of time doing outreach, and if you're not good at outreach, obviously it might take a while to get a model. Um, Next thing is no risk of losing a model in your beginning stages trying to learn because you can't bring results. This is another thing that a lot of people experience. I think every beginner has experienced this unless they got lucky. Is when you're trying to kind of learn how marketing works, what to do, all that stuff, you're gonna get a model that's like, oh, you're not bringing me results yet. It's been a month and we're not making money. I don't want to do this anymore, right? But obviously, if you've got an AIFM, AI model, sorry, there's no risk of that model leaving because it's an AI model. Number three is no waiting for content to be made. This is another big factor, and this is one of the big downsides to OFM. Is with a lot of models, whether they're making you a lot of money or not, they could be making a lot more if they were making more content. Now, obviously, I understand everyone has their own life. It's not a robot; they can't make content 24/7. But it is obviously one of the downsides that sometimes you might need content to be done ASAP. Maybe someone's paid for content and they want it today, but then the model's not available, whatever. So you've kind of missed out on money there, right? Obviously, with an AI model, once again, that wouldn't happen. But at the same time, AI, like nude content, it's a lot less. You can't make it as creative as a real model, so obviously it makes it a bit harder as well. But yeah, now fourth thing is no OnlyFans can't be used. It has to be low converting platforms such as FanView. Now, when I say lower converting, doesn't mean it's a bad platform. Obviously, it's good, but obviously OF is the most popular website. If people see an OF platform, they're gonna be like, I know what this website is. I'm gonna subscribe. Not every guy out there knows what FanView is. So yeah, can take time to learn how to use AI and make a good looking model. This is another thing. I feel like nowadays AI has become a lot easier, so it's not as hard. But obviously, to a lot of people, it's completely new, like how AI works, all that stuff, and they might not know how to do it. So yeah. Now, next thing is marketing can be a lot less scalable slash harder because you don't have a real person to create the exact content you might need. So obviously, you can create reels from other models, stuff like that. But sometimes you're going to need specific content for marketing, and obviously with an AI model, it's going to be a lot harder to create very specific content because it's not a real human. You can't ask her, can you do this and this? Because it's AI. But obviously it's possible, but it's not as easy. Next thing is revenue on FanView chatting can be a lot less, as you can't sell certain things. Now, what I mean by that is obviously with a real model, like a fan can even pay to call the model to FaceTime her for 30 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. With an AI model, obviously you can't have that. Next thing is almost 100% of the money you make is your profit. Obviously, if you've got chaz and you're paying your chaz, obviously you're gonna be giving them a bit of a percentage, or whatever. Maybe you're paying for some marketing, blah blah. But for the main part, you are making most of the money. So even if you are making only 3K a month, maybe 2.5K of that is yours. Whereas with a real model, if you're making 3K a month, if you're on like a 50-50 split or 60-40 split, it's a lot less already, right? Now, OFM, have to spend time outreaching, unless you buy a model from a marketplace, obviously, like I said. A lot of beginners struggle with this. You might lose your model if you don't get results fast. Like I said again, with AI OFM, there's no risk of losing her. With a real model, of course, it can be. Might take time to get content you need if your model is lazy. So yeah, like I said, this is one of the biggest downsides to actual OFM. Is sometimes you might need content to do marketing or to sell it, whatever it may be, and sometimes it can just take a long time to actually receive it. Now, next thing is smaller percentages of profit. Obviously, some people pay salary and stuff like that to models, but if you even if you're paying them if you're getting 70% and you're giving them 30%, even then, if you got an AI model making 10k a month, that's nearly 10k for you. Whereas if you got a real model on 10k a month, that's 7k for you. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's still good, but yeah. A lot more scalable, more marketing can be done, more content can be sold. Obviously, like I said, when it comes to content to sell, you can just ask your model, hey, can you make this? This guy wants to pay for it, and she'll make it. Or if it's marketing, like, hey, can you do this on TikTok Live? Can you do this video? Blah, blah. And then she can make it, right? So yeah. Now, next thing is, overall, I would suggest doing both, but for beginners, I think AI OFM is good to try out while you learn how marketing works and the entirety of OFM works. But OFM is where you will make more money. I personally look at OFM as like a secondary source of income. But yeah, that's pretty much it overall. So like basically overall, like I said, if you're a beginner and you don't wanna risk paying to buy a model and maybe losing her because you've got no clue what you're doing at all, it could be good to try out AOFM while you learn how marketing works, how even the platforms work, all that stuff. But I do think once you really learn everything, it's best to do OFM and then AI OFM sort of like a secondary thing.